Coming up next, I'm giving y'all a story about a guy who finds himself in prison with no friends. But ironically, how he got there is even more interesting. Stay tuned. It's coming up on the Corner Prison Talk Show. What up, what up, what up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. Alright, the question of the day is, what do you do if you find yourself in prison with no friends? What do you do? Well, there's a few things you could do. Let's start at the bottom of the list. The very bottom of the list, you could check in. You could check in the PC and tell them you can't live there, you don't know nobody in this jail, and you think you're going to have a hard bid. Simple as that. Now, will they do anything about it? Yeah, they'll put you in PC, which is a cell by yourself. All your meals will get slid through a cold slot in the wall. You'll get to wash up like once a week. No rec time. And when you do get to go outside, it'll be by yourself. Who playing basketball by themselves? I mean, maybe you play handball outside, but it kind of sucks, y'all. That's at the bottom of the list. Now, you could also, second up on the list, ask them for a transfer. Now, that's a reasonable request, y'all. Not saying that they're going to grant it, but depending on where you are, say you're from North Jersey and you get locked up in South Jersey somewhere, when there's prisons up north they can send you to. You could ask for a request because you don't feel comfortable being in that facility, which is reasonable, being that all your peoples that you likely to run into are up north somewhere. How you got caught up down south, maybe you committed your felony down there, I don't know. But it would make sense for you to request to be transferred back up north, where you feel more comfortable. Now, the top of the list, what most people do, unfortunately, is join a gang. Now, joining a gang comes with many, many consequences, y'all. As many people know, as they say, is blood in, blood out. It's easier getting in than getting out of a gang, I'll tell you that much. And a prison gang is very deadly. Whole different set of rules and laws than on the street, mind you. So you might join a prison gang for protection in prison. Come home with that in your mind that when you get home, you're a real gangster. And you hit the streets with that knowledge that you learned inside. And it'd be a little different. And you got some consequences to deal with from that. Now, not saying that gangs in prison aren't legit, because they are. But if you're not in that life, if you're not about that, you might want to stay away from that. Granted, the gangs will give you protection. But there comes, it's a job. You got to ride with them. Any water breakout, you front line and center. You better get your banger. You got to bang. It's a lot that comes with being a part of a gang in prison that I'm not at liberty to speak on. Especially not on platforms. So, you got to ask yourself, first of all, if you get locked up and you find yourself in a prison, and let's say you go to the mess hall, that's going to be your clear, giveaway whether you should be there or not. You go to the mess hall and you don't know not one person in there. You in trouble. No, you actually in trouble. You should be afraid for your life. Because that means even the people that's in there that's, not in the gang, that's neutrons, ain't rocking with you because you're not from their city. They never heard of you. They don't know what kind of work you put in before. Unless your name ringing bells on these streets out here, from city to city, state to state, you ain't Frank Lucas. You ain't Bumpy Johnson. Nah. You's a regular Joe Smo that gonna end up getting robbed and taken advantage of if you don't get up out of that prison as soon as possible. So, at that point, you find yourself with those 3 objectives. What do you do? Well, there's always a 4th. You can fight. Now, I don't know how far that's going to get you. I don't know how hurt you're going to end up for that respect. But what people say about walking up to the biggest dude in the building and teeing off on him, I don't exactly agree with that, because you'll get your noggin rocked real quick, especially in some of these prisons in Jersey. But no weakness, man. You walk in there, somebody got a problem with you, no talking. Just go straight up top. And go up top mean right up top their head. Boom, 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 boom. Real quick, no talking. Win, lose, or draw, you gotta go for it. And that's gonna give you the respect in the prison that this dude ain't going. He ain't going for it. You ain't just gonna rob him. You ain't gonna take his commissary and walk off like he's soft or something. Nah. You gotta establish yourself from day one. The minute somebody tries something stupid, you gotta give them a stupid answer. Real quick, gang or not. Don't matter who it is, never back down. If you ain't joining, you ain't joining. Period. If you get beat down for saying it, stand by your word. That's one thing that you respect in prison. Standing by your word. So, this story that I'm going to tell y'all, it's about a guy, let's call him Lil Jojo. And Lil Jojo was 22, 23-year-old guy, living in his parents' house, no responsibilities at all, y'all. This is the type of guy that sat around eating frozen pizza and playing games all day in his parents' house, right? This guy loved Michael Jordan. He wanted a pair of Air Jordans so bad, y'all, but he broke as hell. He'd been following Jordan since back when he was playing college, like North Carolina and shit. He just loved the colors, he loved the sneakers, but he's never been able to afford a pair. So, when I say broke, this guy Jojo still takes the damn bus to go to the mall and window shop. Yeah. This guy window shops. Just like 50 said. Oh, you a window shopper. Mad as when I ride by. Well, Jojo, he would go on his normal window shopping escapades, because this is how he filled his day, y'all. Eat pizza, play some games, and when he want to get out for air, I guess you could say Jojo was kind of in shape. He was getting his exercise in. He was getting his steps in around that mall. But he always end up stopping by the game store, and then after the game store, because he'd be in there for about an hour or two, that's his spot right there. He in heaven when he see that game store. Then he hit the arcade and go in there. Then he would hit the sneaker spot. And he'd always go in there and he'd just dream of, buying a pair. This fool would waste their time, y'all. You know when it's busy as heck in the store and it's only like 3 people in there to get to, go get the sneakers that you want to try on. He will go through the same shit every time. Yo, come in. I want to try on those. He would go in there and try on a different pair of Jordans every week. Like he really had bread to buy them. He had no intentions of buying them. He trying on all the Jordans. He didn't care what they was, as long as they was Jordans. And he just put them on, and he just felt so good, y'all. He like, damn, I wish I could have these. And then, the workers start looking at him funny, like, dude, on something? He on some other time, and like, he might try it, yo. He might try. Yo, get that front door. Go stand over there by that front door in case dude tries something. But Jojo would never try nothing, y'all. Jojo was too damn scared. Like I said, this is a good kid that lives with his parents still at 22 or 23 years old that's allowed to play games and eat frozen pizza all day. Yeah, one of those. So, he ain't had the balls to run out of there with no sneakers. He ain't have the courage. He was like the cowardly lion in The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. So, Jojo, he would go home every day disheartened that he couldn't get those sneakers. And he would go home and watch movies and stuff on TV about criminals, how brazen they were, how they just ran up in banks and did this and they went and did that. People robbing this and stealing that. Well, they say too much TV time poisons your brain, people. Don't be on that tube all day, all night. It poisons your brain. Unless you're listening to something worthwhile that's going to help you navigate your future in life. Such as rules on keeping your ass alive in prison. If you ain't liked yet, hit that like button. Let me get that heart. Yo, let me get a subscribe. Let me get a follow. I don't know if you're following or watching from TikTok, YouTube. Shout out to both platforms. What up, y'all? Let me get a subscribe out of y'all real quick if you haven't. Thank you. All right, now, I guess it might be important to add in that Jojo didn't have any friends. The only people Jojo talked to were his parents. If he occasionally went out to the store to try on those sneakers. And the people in his VR game. That's it. He really lived in that digital world. That was his life. So, I guess that gives a little insight to his state of mind. Even when he did, excuse me, the things he did to end up where he ends up. Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it, y'all. Jojo ends up in prison. But why is the question. So, Jojo, after countless hours of watching old gangster movies and mob stories, documentaries, and, seeing people that just got up and went for what they wanted. They didn't care. They just said, F it. They gonna go out in the blaze. Somehow, Jojo got some heart. Jojo, out of nowhere, he started thinking he was a made guy. Although, he probably never met a real made guy in his life. He started acting like he was. And when I say acting like it, he started acting like he could go around and do what he want. Like people owe him. Like he gonna walk up and take what he want from whoever he want. And he started thinking about those Jordans. He said, you know what? I'm going to go in there to that mall. I'm going to try on a pair of Jordans. And I'm going to walk right out with them. And I dare him to try and stop me. And he was serious, y'all. Jojo knew his dad kept a little 45 under the bed. And he said he was going to go grab that 45, go to that mall, and if they gave him any resistance, y'all, he was going to have to do what he had to do. Now, I don't know if Jojo missed a part in the mob stories or the gangster movies or the documentaries where all of these guys ended up either filled with 100 holes or in prison with 100 years. I don't know if he missed that part or not. But all psyched up. And he puts his plan together. He grabs it, makes sure it's fully stacked and loaded, ready to go. Now, Jojo ain't never popped one of them things off before. Shoot, he ain't never really held it before. Taking it from under the bed was probably the biggest thing that Jojo has ever done in his life. So, he's on his way, y'all. He is on his way to being a criminal. Yes, he is. So, Jojo got on the bus. He went on down to the sneaker joint in the mall. And he ain't try it on right away. He walked around the store for a little while. And he was looking at stuff. And then Jojo, he started to get a crazy idea. What if I take more than just the sneakers? I got that thing on me. So Jojo started thinking in his head, alright, I'm gonna get out of here. And he looked at his watch. He said, alright, the bus come in 25 minutes. The exit is downstairs. I just gotta be fast enough to get downstairs and hop on the bus before security even know what's going on. So he started to formulate his plan. And he started thinking real quick, like, alright, there's 3 people in this store right now. If I get all of them subdued, then ain't nobody gonna be around unless security know what I just did. Mind you, this guy had never done crime a day in his life. To come up with this plan was diabolically devious. He told one of the girls, let me try on that pair right there. And he wanted a pair of Jordans, gray and white joints. She came out, got him, he put them on. He put them joints on, y'all. He laced them up nice and tight too. Real tight, so he could run. Then, he was like, alright, yeah, I'm going to take him. And they said, you want to put him back in the box? He said, nah, I'm going to wear him out of here. Come on, let me go, let me pay for him. So, now, you got one with him following him to the register. It's one already at the register. And now, it's one guy in the back stock room. They don't have no clue of what's going on out front. That's the manager. Of course, he hiding away somewhere when he should be out there managing. Anyway, he gets up to the register, and she scanned the box, and they're both behind the register. And real quick, they said, all right, that's going to be $365.98. He said, all right, here you go. He pulled that thing out, and they both froze. Real quick, they froze. He ran around, and he said, don't scream. Don't scream, or I will pop off. And they start tearing up immediately and hutching down low, and they, stop doing that. Stop acting scared. Get in that back room. Get in the back room and don't say nothing. So now, he walking them to the back room. They get to the back room, and the manager's back there doing lines, y'all. The manager's back there on the job, blowing lines. Yeah, that's what's going on back here, y'all. He getting paid to run the store. Meanwhile, he back there sky high. Anyway, Jojo put the joint to him. Don't move. Don't move. Turn around. Get on the floor. He got everybody on the floor. Now he finds some tape in the back storage room. He taping all of them up real good. He tape them all up. Then he find something else to tape all of them too. He taped all of them around a big piece of furniture. Now, He knows they're probably going to be able to break free shortly, but he just needs enough time to get out of there and catch his bus. So, after he goes, tapes him up, he runs out, and he's running by, and he's about to go by, but then he sees the register, and he's like, fuck it, I might as well take some of this bread while I'm here. He goes in there and starts banging on the register. It pops open. He grabs all the cash he sees, y'all. He even lifts the register up and gets all the big bills from the bottom. So he done scraped him about maybe $4,000 real quick. He like, shoot, this is ending up better than I thought. And he start calmly walking out of the store. Then he start going down toward the stairs. He didn't take the escalade, y'all. That's why he strapped up his laces. As soon as he got through that door to the stairwell, he start hauling ass. Boom, 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 boom. He wanted to get as far away from that sneaker store as possible. Because mind you, he didn't have no mask on or nothing, y'all. Which is obviously how he got caught. So, he get on the bus. He made it, y'all. He done got up out of there with them joints. But Jojo fails to realize he had been coming to that mall week after week after week trying on Jordans. They already had a whole folder on him just being weird. Just coming in there barely talking besides asking to try on the Jordans and smiling every time he puts a pair on and giving them back. They had been watching him for a long time, so they knew exactly who he was, and they had no problem finding out exactly where he lived, y'all. Yep. One day, shortly after this heist, you could call it, Jojo was playing his VR game. And he's home. He's in another world. He blasting aliens. Bat, 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 bat. He don't know what's going on in the real world, y'all. All he knows is he hear a slight faint knock. Ding, ding, ding. Huh? He pull his set off and it's louder. Boom, 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 boom. It's the police, y'all. They are at his door. They are here to arrest Jojo. Formally charge him with his crime. Yep. Jojo got charged with robbery, kidnapping, assault with a deadly weapon. Yep. Well, Jojo is still going back and forth to trial because of his mental state. That is the only thing saving little Jojo from being incarcerated with the big boys immediately. For now, Jojo, he's an accountant. But there is more to Jojo's story. And if you want to hear it, I'm going to need you to stay tuned and come back for part 2. What happens when you don't know anyone in prison? When you stand out because you're not from there? What do? How do you gain dominance? How do you gain respect? Well, you're just going to have to stay tuned and listen to part 2. Coming up on the Corner Prison Talk Show. It's your boy, and I'm out.